Lovely. Modelers, how you doing? It's good to see you all again. Do you remember the video where I took the new style glider down to the field and I did a few hand launches with it? Well, when I got there that day and I did the range check on the new style, with the aerial down on the 35 meg transmitter, there's a little bit of jitter at range check. I initially thought it could be a dirty aerial or a dirty aerial connection. That used to be a thing with 35 meg. You could get that. So I at first thought that was the issue. Turns out it wasn't. It's after doing some research, this 6.6 volt receiver pack that I've been using in the gliders, which is obviously fine on the Spectrum receivers, isn't fine for the 35 meg receivers. Now I thought it would be. I used to run 6 volts, 5 cells and 35 meg, but apparently it looks like 6.6 is a little bit too much, and they work better at 4.8. So I did it again. I connected up a 4.8 volt battery to the receiver. Tried it again, no problem. Range, everything's fine. But the problem I've got is any 4.8 volt receiver packs I've got are like that, and they don't fit in the gliders because there's not enough depth in the fuselage anywhere, so they just don't fit. So I need a 4.8 volt receiver pack that is the same, roughly same size and shape as that. Now, 2 batteries like that are shallow enough, and then another 2, which makes the battery about 6mm longer, which isn't a problem because I've got about 12mm to play with inside both, well, all 3 fuselages. Yeah, so that's what I need to do. I need my batteries going that way, 4 going that way, and all the ones I can seem to find are like that. If they are the other way, they tend to be the wider batteries, which make them too wide, makes them wider than that. And because of the way the battery compartments are inside the fuselages, they won't fit, and they'd be too wide for the new style anyway. So I did some looking around on the internet and on Amazon, and I found some batteries, but they wouldn't come for a few days. I want to try and get a battery done today, so I can fly the gliders Saturday hopefully. So what I've done is I've gone up to B&Q and I've bought 4 Duracell rechargeable batteries. Now they're 1300 milliamp hour, and they're obviously 1.2 volts. So 4 together, 4.8 volts, but the milliamp hour stays the same, it's 1300. That's absolutely fine. That would be like a low milliamp hour battery, but to power 2 small servos on gliders that are only 2 channel, the most you're going to be using is 2 servos, or can use is 2 servos at the same time. So that'll be fine. That'll be fine. I might get, on the calculations, probably 6-7 hours use out of the battery, but for now that's fine for what I need. I have, like I say, I have looked on Amazon and I've wrote it down here, and you can get 16 3000 milliamp hour AA rechargeables for £18. That's 3000 milliamp hour. That's quite good. I even thought about it. I thought, so I use like 6 volt 5 cells in these, and now around 3,000, 3,500 maybe. I don't know, it might be bigger, I don't know. But you could basically make 3 of those for 18 quid. Do you know what I mean? So it's quite, well, £6 a battery, so it's quite cheap really. This wasn't particularly economical. These were like 11.99 for those. So this battery's going to cost me that. But to be fair, the closest I could get in the 1400 milliamp hour pack, 4.8 volt. The closest I could get to this was from it was from one of the model shops. It was a Sanya, and it was £6 for the battery and £6.90 postage. So that'd have been £12.90 anyway. But that's not the point. The point is I need a battery for these gliders for this weekend. So we're going to make a 4.8 volt receiver pack. I'm going to pan you down to the bench. I'm going to fire up a soldering iron, hot glue gun. I've got some cable, which is just old receiver cable, sorry, servo cable. I've taken an old battery connection off an old battery. You can use servo extension leads for this. Anything doesn't matter. But yeah, I've just cut that off an old battery to put on there, and yeah, I'm gonna pan you down. We're gonna have a make of a little 4.8 volt receiver pack. So see you down here at the bench, guys. Alright, muddlers. I hope you can all see this okay. I think I've got you as close as I possibly can. So I'm just going to tin up some cable that I've just cut, just to connect the batteries together. So you can get a good tin on them. Alright guys, so I'm just going to scratch up the ends of the batteries, the positive and negative terminals. Now I've tinned the end of these wires so they're pre-soldered, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to solder a cable between the positive and negative of two of the batteries. Okay, so when we make a receiver pack, you flow the batteries together like that. Okay, so in this case we'll go negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive. Okay, so the battery flows around like that. So let's get a little bit of flux on the end of this battery just to help us a little bit. I've got me a little clamp, just try and hold it up, make it a bit easier. Right, you solder, your hand away from that soldering line because it's bloody hot. Now if you solder batteries, what you want is you want a decent iron. Okay, I mean this isn't the best one, but it's good enough for this. But you don't want to hold that iron on that battery for long. You want to get the heating quickly and get the solder on quickly, otherwise you ruin the battery. Okay, and that's gone. So the battery's still cool, which is good. I have that focus, a nice little blob of solder on the end of the battery there, just to put the cable to. So we'll do the same on this side. So a little bit of flux just on there, scratch it in, that heat on, and there you go, we have a nice blob of solder on the end of that battery, just like so. Okay, so the same with this one. I need to do the negative of this one. That's what we need to do. Bit of flux. There we go. So I'm going to take my little bit of cable now, with a little bit more flux on there, solder ready, tweezers, I'm going to put some solder on the end of the iron. In fact, I'm going to just give that a little clean, some flux there, solder on the end of the iron, cable onto the battery, solder on, hold it, done. There's our bit of cable connected. So now, that's the negative side of that battery. So we're going to come round to the positive side of the other battery. See if they'll both sit in the same clamp. Let's try that. Put something between them. There we go. No, something else. Foil. Just to space them out a little bit. Perfect. Okay. Bit of flux. Let's hold the cable there. There we go. Oh, got me. So now I have a negative and a positive connected together. Now the reason I've used cable is so what I can do now is fold the batteries like so, okay, and that will give me that shape I'm after. So what I'm going to do is, keeping that cable straight as possible, I'm going to put hot glue, clean that off, leaking. Put hot glue in there, and I'm going to put the two together. We'll just glue them together. So I'll make up the next side, guys, and I'll be back when I've done that, and we'll put the 4 cells together. So back in a minute. Okay, modelers, so I've made up the other 2 cells, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put the 2 sections together. I'm keeping my excess cables in tight. Just try and keep the battery as compact as possible. Keeping it all as level as I possibly can. A bit of hot glue between the two cells there, just to keep them separated and sort of in place and held together. I'm just going to run some hot glue down between those batteries, solder that together. Just do one side now, come back and do the other. Okay, put this together. Turn that over and do the other side. Okay, I'll let that cool and set, and I'll be back when I solder the rest of the connections on. See you in a minute. Right, modelers, that hot glue's gone off. I've put a little bit of black tape around just to hold the thing together. Now I'm going to connect the positive to negative at the bottom of the battery. We'll do that, and then we'll put the battery connection lead on. So same again, tin these up. Main lead now. So I've already tinned the negative on there. I just need to tin the positive. Okay, bit of flux. Where's my solder gone? Here it is, right in front of me. I'm going to give that a clean off. It's a bit dirty, that. Right. Get rid of all that loose rubbish. Okay, bit of heat on there. Bit of solder. There we go. Nice blob. You always want your solder to be nice and shiny. Right then, I've got to tin these two cables, so we'll give them a bit of dip in the flux. There we go, a bit too much on there. There we go. Right, so in the battery there, and obviously negative to negative, positive to positive. I use a bit of flux here because I want a really nice connection. A bit of flux, bit on there, bit on there. There we go. Over. Tweezers. I'll stay up there, look. There we go. So far so good. We've managed to make the pack up, solder everything on nice and cleanly, not blown anything up, which is always good. So the same again, bit of hot glue just over these. a little bit. So let that start to cool. And just press it around. Just make sure it's in and covering everything. Okay. So I don't actually have any heat shrink big enough for batteries, so I am going to just tape this one up. Now, it doesn't matter, you can use tape, it's just anything to sort of hold it together and give it some protection. Heat shrink is obviously nicer and neater. Just put a bit around the end like that, and then we'll lock that in. A bit of tape there. There we go. I'm just going to really pull that tape tight now and work it up the battery. Can't see, can you? There we go. Now, just to tidy these cables up, I'm going to pull them together there, like that, get around with the tape. Off there a second, and then I go up and down the battery now. A little bit more, skew it up a bit in the middle, just where that join is. A bit of sellotape just on there. And there we go. And now I know what battery it is. So yeah, like I said, it ain't the prettiest thing in the world, but old battery, 101 grams. Obviously the model's balanced around that one, so it does feel slightly heavier. 103 grams. I don't think there's going to be a great deal of difference there, do you? So 104. Might be half a click of elevator trim. Hey modelers, so that's another little job done. As you can see, it's charging. So these batteries obviously come with very little charging. Either that or I've sucked it all out with the with the soldering iron. But yeah, I mean, we'll find out. I've done these before and it's usually sound, as long as you don't, you know, you don't overheat the battery, which I didn't. I was pretty quick. There was only the one where it slipped a few times, but even then the battery was still cool, so hopefully that should be alright. But yeah, really impressed at the way the weights come out the same. A bit of luck really, because you never know, because you're adding hot glue and then you're adding tape and stuff. So I was expecting this to be probably a bit lighter actually. It feels heavier in the hand, but I was expecting it to be lighter, which wouldn't have been an issue because I would just have added some weight to the model, because the all-up flying weight would be the same anyway. But the weight's the same, so now I don't even have to do anything. I've got a 4.8 volt battery that's going to work all three gliders at a balance to this weight, and it fits them all. It fits them all perfect. Like I said, it's a little bit longer than that one. It's probably more than I thought actually. It's more like 20, maybe 22 millimeters. But I've got that playing in the models anyway. It's more so the depth and the width that's the issue. I used to be scared of doing stuff like this and not trust it, but kind of get a bit, you have a go at it and you think, yeah, you know what I mean. It used to be a thing with me, I used to think I couldn't make things that was made in, you know, you buy from the shop. The battery is fully charged. I've just put it in the battery checker and it's showing 99%. So it's also showing as a 4 cell. So hopefully it's all good. Fits lovely in all the models. So we'll connect this up. We've got the transmitter already switched on and programmed to the Sunbird. That's interesting. We have a green light. So we have a green light to show the battery's in good order, red when it's not. Now we have working surfaces. So that's very promising. There's no flicker between the light when I operate the surfaces, look. So nothing's there's no flicker there. So that's all good, all promising. We're gonna go and fly a glider on Saturday. So yeah, thanks for watching, modelers, and I'll see you in the next one. Please like and subscribe. Bye bye.